It was a cold winter morning when four friends, Ali, Hamza, Bilal, and Saad, decided to go on a hunting trip far away from the city. This wasn't their first time. They had gone hunting many times before. For them, it was both an adventure and a routine escape from their daily lives. They drove together, laughing, joking, and playing music as they left the busy city behind. Gradually, the roads became emptier, and soon they reached an area surrounded by dense forest. Tall trees stood everywhere, their thick branches blocking most of the sunlight from reaching the ground. At first, the forest felt peaceful and beautiful. The cool air, the soft sounds of birds, and the calm silence made it seem like the perfect place for hunting. They found a suitable spot and set up their camp. A small fire was lit, their gear was arranged, and they took some time to relax. "This place is perfect. We're definitely getting a good hunt today," Hamza said with a smile. Everyone laughed. Everything felt completely normal. They prepared their hunting equipment and decided to move deeper into the forest. The environment remained calm, with no signs of danger. But as they walked further in, something began to feel different. The sounds of birds slowly faded. The wind seemed to stop. Ali suddenly paused and looked around carefully. "Don't you guys feel something strange?" The others laughed it off. "You're just overthinking," Saad replied. But deep inside, Ali felt something was wrong. It was subtle, but real. It felt like someone, or something, was watching them from the darkness. Eyes evergreen tree. As the group moved deeper into the forest, the path behind them slowly disappeared. What once felt like a simple trail was now just a maze of tall trees and thick bushes. The deeper they went, the darker it became, even though it was still daytime. Their phones had completely lost signal. "No network at all," Bilal said, checking his phone again. "Relax, we're not here for calls," Hamza laughed. But Ali stayed quiet. Something about the place didn't feel right. The forest was too still, too quiet. Even their footsteps sounded louder than they should. Dry leaves cracked beneath their boots, echoing in the silence. It felt like every sound they made was being heard by something else. After walking for a while, they reached a part of the forest that looked untouched. The trees here were older, thicker, and twisted in strange shapes. Sunlight barely reached the ground, leaving the area in a dim, shadowy glow. "Let's stop here for a bit," Saad suggested. They dropped their bags and looked around. No birds, no insects, nothing. "Isn't it weird?" Ali finally said. "There's no sound at all." Hamza shrugged. "Maybe we just got lucky. No noise means animals are nearby." But that didn't make sense. Even in the quietest forests, there is always some sound. A branch suddenly cracked in the distance. All four of them froze. "Did you hear that?" Bilal whispered. They looked toward the trees. Nothing moved. No animals. No wind. Just silence again. But now it felt heavier. Unnatural. As if the forest itself was holding its breath. Ali tightened his grip on his weapon. Because for the first time since they arrived, it didn't feel like they were alone anymore. Eyes evergreen tree. As evening slowly approached, the forest grew darker and colder. The faint light filtering through the trees began to fade, and long shadows stretched across the ground like reaching hands. The group decided to head back toward their camp before night fully fell. But something had changed. The silence from earlier was gone. Now there were sounds. At first, it was faint, almost unnoticeable, a soft whisper carried by the wind. Ali stopped walking and turned his head slightly. "Did you hear that?" he asked quietly. The others paused. For a moment, there was nothing. Then, a low, distant sound echoed between the trees. It didn't sound like any animal they had heard before. It was too human. Bilal frowned. "Maybe it's another group of hunters?" "No," Ali said, his voice tense. That didn't sound right. They continued walking, but now everyone was alert. Their eyes scanned the darkness between the trees. Every shadow seemed to move. Every branch looked like it was hiding something. The sound came again, this time clearer, a whisper, but no words, just a strange, broken tone, like someone trying to speak but failing. Saad's face turned pale. "Okay, that's not normal." Suddenly, the bushes nearby rustled loudly. All four of them turned instantly, raising their weapons. "Who's there?" Hamza shouted. No answer, only the sound of leaves settling back into place. Then, from deeper in the forest, something let out a long, chilling call. It echoed through the trees, vibrating in their chests. Not an animal, not human, something in between. Fear gripped them all at once. They were no longer relaxed, no longer confident, because now they knew. Whatever was making those sounds was aware of them, and it was getting closer. Eyes evergreen tree. Night was approaching fast, and the forest had become almost completely dark. The group decided to stop moving and set up a temporary rest point before heading back to their camp. None of them wanted to wander deeper into the forest at night. They gathered near a cluster of large trees, trying to stay close together. The air felt colder now, and the strange sounds from earlier still echoed in their minds. "I don't like this place," Bilal said quietly. No one argued. As they stood there, Ali's eyes caught something on the ground. "Wait, look at this." The others moved closer. There, in the soft mud, were footprints. But they didn't look right. They were too large and oddly shaped. Not like any animal they had seen before. The toes were long, stretched, almost human, but not quite. "What kind of animal makes tracks like this?" Saad whispered. Hamza crouched down, examining them carefully. "I've never seen anything like it." The footprints didn't just appear once. They continued deeper into the forest and then circled back. Around them, a cold realization hit them all at once. "These tracks," Ali said slowly, his voice shaking, "they're not going away from us. They're around us." Silence fell. Everyone instinctively stepped closer together. It felt like something had been walking nearby, watching them, following them. A sudden snap of a branch echoed behind them. They all turned instantly, but nothing was there. Just darkness, just trees, just silence. But now it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt occupied. Ali swallowed hard, his heart racing. Because for the first time, they had proof. Something unknown was in the forest with them. And it wasn't running away. It was staying close. Eyes evergreen tree. The group stood frozen for a moment after discovering the strange footprints. No one wanted to say it out loud, but they all felt it. Something was very wrong. "We should go back," Bilal said quickly. "Right now." No one disagreed this time. They picked up their gear and began walking, trying to retrace their steps. But the forest looked different now. The trees seemed closer together, the shadows darker, and the path they had taken earlier was no longer clear. "Wasn't the camp this way?" Saad asked, looking around nervously. Ali shook his head. I think so," but he didn't sound sure. As they moved forward, the strange feeling of being watched grew stronger. Every few steps, someone would turn around, expecting to see something behind them, but there was always nothing. Or at least, nothing visible. Suddenly, Hamza stopped. "Wait, where's Bilal?" The group instantly turned. Bilal was gone. "What?" "He was just behind me," Saad said, panic rising in his voice. "Bilal!" Ali shouted. No response. They began calling his name louder, their voices echoing through the forest. "Bilal, stop messing around." Still nothing. Then, a faint sound came from deeper in the trees. Not a voice. Not exactly. More like a weak, broken cry. The group froze. That was him," Saad whispered. Without thinking, they moved toward the sound, pushing through branches and darkness. But when they reached the spot, there was no one there. Only Bilal's bag, lying on the ground, torn and slightly dragged. The forest went silent again, completely silent. Ali stared at the bag, his heart pounding, because now it was real. This wasn't just fear anymore. Something had taken Bilal, and whatever it was still out there. Eyes evergreen tree. The moment they found Bilal's torn bag lying on the forest floor, everything changed. This was no longer a hunting trip. This was survival. No one spoke for a few seconds. The silence felt heavier than ever. Even breathing seemed too loud. Ali slowly bent down and picked up the bag. It was scratched, dirty, and slightly wet. He didn't need to check further. He already knew something terrible had happened. "We have to leave. Right now," Hamza said, his voice shaking. No one argued. They turned and began moving quickly, no longer caring about the path. Branches hit their faces, leaves crushed loudly under their feet, but none of it mattered. The only thing that mattered was getting out. But the forest wasn't letting them go. Every direction looked the same. Every turn led deeper inside. "We're going in circles," Saad shouted, panic rising. Ali tried to stay calm, but even he was losing control. "Just keep moving." Then, a sound came from behind them. Footsteps. Heavy, not human. They froze. Step, step, step. Something was walking toward them. Slowly, deliberately. "Don't turn around," Hamza whispered. But it was too late. Saad turned. For a split second, he saw it. A tall, dark shape standing between the trees. Its body was thin, unnatural, and its head tilted in a strange way, like it was studying them. Then it moved. Fast. Saad screamed and stumbled back. Run! Ollie shouted. They all started running without thinking, fear taking over completely. Branches tore at their clothes. Their breaths became heavy. Their hearts pounded like drums. Behind them, the sound of something chasing them grew louder. Closer. Faster. And in that moment, they realized the terrifying truth. They were no longer hunters. They were being hunted. Eyes evergreen tree. They ran blindly through the forest, branches cutting against their skin, roots nearly tripping them with every step. None of them knew where they were going anymore. They just needed to get away. Behind them, the sound of movement didn't stop. It followed. Not rushing, not panicking, just staying with them. After what felt like forever, they finally slowed down, gasping for air. Their lungs burned, and their legs trembled from exhaustion. Stop. I can't breathe, Saad said, collapsing near a tree. Ollie looked around quickly. We can't stay here for long. But for a moment, everything went quiet again. Too quiet. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. Hamza leaned against a tree, trying to listen carefully. Do you hear that? Ollie frowned. Hear what? Exactly, Hamza whispered. No sound. No wind. No insects. Nothing. Then, a faint movement. Ollie's eyes shifted toward the trees ahead. Something had moved. A shadow. Tall, thin, unnatural. Standing between the trees. He blinked. It was gone. Did you see that? Ollie asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Saad shook his head, but his face showed pure fear. I don't want to see it. Then suddenly, from the left side, branches shook violently. They all turned. Nothing. Then from the right, another movement. Faster. Closer. It wasn't just following anymore. It was circling them, like a predator playing with its prey. A low, distorted sound echoed around them. Not quite a growl, not quite a voice. Saad covered his ears. What is that? Ollie stepped back slowly, his grip tightening on his weapon. Because now it was clear. They weren't just being chased. They were being studied, watched from every angle. And whatever it was getting ready to strike. Eyes evergreen tree. After moments of confusion and fear, the group realized something terrifying. The forest was no longer just following them. It was controlling their movement. Every path they tried led them deeper into darkness instead of taking them out. We're trapped, Saad whispered, his voice shaking. Ollie refused to accept it. No, there has to be a way out. Just stay calm. But staying calm was becoming impossible. The forest had turned completely silent again. No wind. No animals. Even their own footsteps felt muted, as if the ground was absorbing sound. Then Hamza suddenly stopped walking. There, look. He pointed ahead. Between the trees, something unusual was visible. A small clearing. But it didn't look natural. The ground there was too flat, too clean, almost as if something had been cleared intentionally. And in the center of it, a broken hunting trap, rusty metal, old bloodstains, and deep scratches on the surrounding trees. Ollie slowly stepped closer. This wasn't placed recently. Saad shook his head. Then who or what is using it? Before anyone could answer, a soft clicking sound echoed from somewhere above them. Click, click, click. All four of them looked up instantly. Nothing, just branches. But then, a shadow moved across the trees above them. Fast, too fast. They stepped back instinctively. And then it happened. The ground beneath Hamza's foot shifted. A hidden trap snapped. Crack. Ropes shot up instantly, grabbing his leg and lifting him off the ground. Hamza, Ollie screamed. He was pulled upward, struggling violently, hanging upside down in the air. And in that moment, from the darkness beyond the trees, a slow figure began to emerge again. Watching, waiting, closer than ever. Eyes evergreen tree kitchen knife. Hamza hung upside down in the air, trapped in the hidden hunting snare. The rope was tight around his leg, cutting into his skin, and every movement made it worse. He struggled hard, trying to reach the knot above him, but it was too high. Help me, he shouted, panic filling his voice. Ollie and Saad rushed forward, trying to find something to cut the rope, but the forest felt like it was fighting back. Every step they took was unstable, as if the ground itself was shifting. Stay still, Ollie shouted to Hamza. Don't move too much. But Hamza was panicking, swinging slightly, making the rope twist tighter. Then, a strange sound echoed again. Click, click, click. The same sound from before. From the trees. The group froze. Ollie slowly looked up, his heart pounding. It's still here, Saad whispered. It never left. Suddenly, a shadow moved between the trees again. This time closer. More visible. The tall figure stood still, watching them struggle, as if waiting for the perfect moment. Hamza looked down at it and froze. It's enjoying this. The realization made everything worse. Ollie quickly grabbed a broken branch and tried to reach the rope. Hold on, I'm coming. But before he could get close, the forest responded. A sharp snapping sound came from another direction. Another trap was triggered nearby, forcing Ollie and Saad to jump back. It was a warning, a message. Don't come closer. Hamza looked at them, fear in his eyes. Leave me, just run. No, Saad shouted. We're not leaving you. But the shadow started moving slowly toward them now. Step by step. Deliberate. Unstoppable. The forest wasn't just hunting anymore. It was choosing. And Hamza was next. Eyes evergreen tree kitchen knife. Hamza's desperate screams echoed through the forest as the shadow slowly moved closer. The group was now completely surrounded by darkness, traps, and something they could not understand. Ollie looked at Saad. We have to choose, now. Saad was shaking. Choose what? We can't leave him. But another snap echoed nearby. The forest was activating more traps. It was closing in. The shadow stopped just a few steps away from Hamza, still hanging upside down. It tilted its head slowly, studying him like prey. Hamza's voice cracked. Just go. Ollie clenched his fists. For a moment, everything felt impossible. Then he grabbed Saad's arm. Run. They turned and sprinted into the darkness, leaving Hamza behind as the forest erupted with strange mechanical clicks and snapping branches. Behind them, Hamza screamed one last time. Then silence. The sound stopped instantly. Ollie and Saad kept running, not daring to look back. Their breath was gone, their bodies weak, but fear kept pushing them forward. Suddenly, the trees began to thin. A faint light appeared ahead. Wait, do you see that? Saad whispered. Ollie nodded. Exit, it's the exit. They pushed harder, stumbling through branches, until finally, they burst out of the forest onto an open dirt road. Both fell to their knees, gasping for air. Behind them, the forest stood silent. Too silent. No movement. No sound. Just darkness watching. Saad looked back slowly. Do you think it's gone? Ollie didn't answer. Because deep in the shadows between the trees, a tall figure was still standing. Watching. Waiting. And now it knew. Some of them escaped. The forest didn't lose. It simply chose to let them go. For now. Eyes evergreen tree kitchen knife. Ollie and Saad sat on the cold dirt road for a long time, trying to process what had just happened. Their bodies were shaking, not only from exhaustion, but from fear that still hadn't left them. The forest behind them was silent, but it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt alive, like something was still watching from within the darkness. Saad broke the silence first. Hamza, Bilal, we lost them. Ollie didn't reply immediately. His eyes were fixed on the trees. We didn't lose them, he said quietly. We left them. The words felt heavy. A long silence followed. Then Saad suddenly pointed at Ollie's leg. You're bleeding. Ollie looked down. Deep scratches covered his skin, marks from the branches, traps, and struggle. But something else caught his attention. A small symbol, carved into his skin. Fresh. Too precise to be accidental. He frowned. I didn't get this before. Saad leaned closer. What is that? Ollie shook his head slowly. I don't know. But deep inside, something felt wrong. It wasn't just a wound. It looked like a mark. A signature. From the forest. A sudden wind blew across the road, making the trees rustle violently. Both of them turned back instantly. For a brief moment, between the trees, they saw it again. The tall shadow. Standing still. Watching them from a distance. Saad stepped back in fear. It followed us. Ollie clenched his jaw. No, it never needed to follow. The realization hit them both. The forest wasn't just a place. It was something else. Something that marked its victims. And now, they carried it back with them. Eyes evergreen tree drop of blood. And Saad finally returned to their village after hours of walking in silence. The road felt normal again, but nothing inside them felt normal anymore. Every sound made them flinch. Every shadow felt suspicious. The villagers noticed their condition immediately. What happened to you two? an elder asked. But Ollie didn't answer. He just kept staring at his hands. Saad was the one who finally spoke, his voice low and broken. We went into the forest. Something was there. No one believed them. They were told it was just fear, exhaustion, or imagination. But Ollie knew better. That night, they tried to sleep. But sleep didn't come easily. Every time Ollie closed his eyes, he saw the forest again. The traps, the shadows, Hamza hanging in the air, Bilal disappearing into nothing. Then, a soft sound. Click, click, click. Ollie's eyes snapped open. Silence. He sat up slowly, listening carefully. Nothing. He got up and walked toward the window. Outside, the village was quiet and still. But then, between the houses, near the edge of the trees, a shadow stood. Tall. Still. Watching. Ollie's breath stopped. He stepped back instantly. No, no. This can't be real. Saad woke up behind him. What is it? Ollie pointed outside. Saad looked and froze. The same figure. The same presence. But now it was closer than before. Then, slowly, the shadow turned its head and disappeared into the darkness. Saad whispered, terrified. It came with us. Ollie realized something horrifying. They didn't escape the forest. They only brought it home. Eyes evergreen tree, drop of blood. After seeing the shadow near the village houses, Ollie and Saad could no longer convince themselves it was imagination. Something had followed them back, and now it was no longer limited to the forest. The next morning, the village felt different. Dogs were restless, refusing to bark normally. Birds were unusually silent. Even the air felt heavier than before. Ollie tried to tell others again. It's not safe here. Something came with us from the forest. But the villagers only laughed nervously. You boys are traumatized, an elder said. Go rest. That night, things began to change. A villager's goat was found dead near the edge of the forest. No wounds, no blood, just empty eyes staring at nothing. Then another strange incident happened. Tools disappeared from homes and reappeared deep inside the woods. Saad was shaking again. It's doing this. Ollie nodded slowly. It's testing the village. That night, the sound returned. Click, click, click. But this time, it wasn't in the forest. It was inside the village. From multiple directions. Roofs, alleys, trees, everywhere. People started locking their doors. Lights were turned off one by one. Then, a scream from the far end of the village, followed by another and another. Ollie ran outside, heart racing. Saad followed him. In the distance, near the tree line, they saw it. The shadow. But now it was not alone. More shapes were forming behind it. The forest was expanding. Slowly, silently, taking the village piece by piece. Ollie whispered in fear. It didn't follow us back. After the first attacks in the village, panic spreads quickly. People lock their doors, but fear has already entered their homes. Ollie and Saad try to warn everyone again, but now no one is laughing. The elders finally gather in the mosque/community hall to discuss what is happening. Some believe it is a curse, others think it is wild animals. But Ollie insists it is something intelligent, something that followed them from the forest. That night, electricity in the village starts failing one by one. Lights flicker and go out without explanation. Mobile signals stop working. Outside, strange markings begin appearing on walls and trees. Same symbol Ollie found on his skin. Saad notices something horrifying. It's marking everything, like it's preparing. Suddenly, a group of villagers who went to investigate near the forest do not return. Only their torches are found, arranged in a perfect circle. Ollie realizes the truth. The forest entity is not just attacking. It is expanding its territory, slowly turning the village into part of itself. At midnight, all sounds stop completely. Then every house hears the same thing. Click, click, click. From inside their own homes. Ollie and Saad understand they cannot defend the village anymore. They must find the source, deep inside the forest again, where it all started, and end it before the village disappears completely. Eyes evergreen tree, drop of blood. With the village collapsing around them, Ollie and Saad realize there is no safe place left. The entity is no longer outside. It is inside homes, walls, and even people's fear itself. Ollie studies the strange symbol again and finally notices something important. It is not random. It is a direction marker, like a trail leading back to the forest. Saad is terrified. You want to go back there again? Ollie replies firmly. If we don't, it will erase everything. They gather a small group of brave villagers who still believe them. Armed with torches and basic tools, they head back toward the forest entrance. As they approach, the forest looks different, thicker, darker, almost like it is waiting for them. The moment they step inside, the silence returns instantly. But this time, it feels controlled, like the forest is aware they came willingly. The group follows the symbols deeper and deeper until they reach a place none of them have seen before. A massive clearing filled with old hunting traps, bones, and carved trees forming a circle. In the center stands something new, a structure made of wood, ropes, and unknown materials, like a nest. And inside it, movement. The entity is not just a creature. It is a system, a living trap that grows by consuming fear and victims. Sod whispers, "This is its heart." Ollie steps forward slowly, realizing the final truth. The only way to stop it is not to run, but to destroy its core. As they prepare to act, the forest goes completely silent. Then the clicking stops, because now, it knows they have reached the center, and it is ready to fight back. Eyes evergreen tree drop of blood.